Here we go.
This is Tom Miller, and I'm the Ballard County Extension Agent for Agriculture and Natural Resources. And for those of you in Kentucky who don't know where Ballard County is, come as far west as you can come, and we're right where the Ohio meets the Mississippi River. And I want to talk today about should you pick ARC County or PLC in the upcoming Farm Bill sign-up. As you see, I've got a little disclaimer on there that I don't know exactly what's going on, but hopefully by the time we get done today, you'll have a little better idea of what you should pick for your farm. The deadline coming up is March 15th. You're probably starting to get some pressure from your FSA to sign some paperwork. The last sign up that we did about this time last year was for 19 and 20 crop year. We were halfway through the marketing year on 19, so we had a pretty good idea what to do on 19, and on 20, it was just a guess. This year, the only option you have is signing up for 21, and you can it's whether you keep the same elections you had last year or whether you change from ARC to PLC or vice versa. Only decision you need to make this time. And I say a decision, it's more a guess than anything else. But what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about the marketing year average price. I'm going to go over a little bit of the background on ARC County and PLC, how they work. It'll be real quick. Some decision aids that are out there to help you make the decision. Then I'm going to end with my thinking, what I did on my farm and what I think you probably need to think about on your farm. So let's get started here with the marketing year average price. This is the driver for the whole decision that you need to make. This is the biggest thing you have to think about. Think about wheat. We're in 2021 right now, but the marketing year that we're in is actually 2020. These high prices are setting the marketing year for 2020. The marketing year for 21 that we're making the decision on will not start till June 1st, 2021, runs all the way through May 31st, 2022. For corn and soybeans, it will not end until August 31st, 2022, I mean. So these high prices that we've got right now, all they're going toward is setting the marketing year average price for 2021, or for 2020, I'm sorry. What is the price going to be in the next 18 months? That's the question that you need to answer. And unfortunately, none of us know the answer to that question, but that's what's going to decide the decision that you need to make. So estimates of the marketing year average price, how do they come up with this? NASS surveys elevators and end users. It's a little over 1,900, a little less than 2,000 elevators and end users at the end of every month to determine the price. What they do is they call the elevator, say, how much corn did you sell this month? What was the total amount of dollars for that corn? So they get an average price for each month. The prices tend to correlate to the Central Corn Belt, and that's just natural because that's where most of the corn, soybeans are raised. That's where most of it's sold. The actual prices in Kentucky will oftentimes be a little bit higher than the nationwide price. That means absolutely nothing for the decision you're going to make right now, but it's kind of an interesting fact that our prices tend to be a little bit higher than the Central Corn Belt. The prices determine when the grain is paid for. Some months influence the price more. So think about it. On wheat, June is a huge month. June and July are the two huge months that influence the marketing year average price for wheat because not a whole lot of wheat is stored through the summertime. For corn and soybeans, September, October, anything that's sold off the combine, November will be sold in those months. All the storage that we have right now, December is a big month, January and March are other big months. These months tend to have a little bit higher influence on the price than some of the other months do. Think about it, where the prices are right now, even if the Chicago Board of Trade goes down, everything that you've got forward contracted for 2021 will be counted when it's sold and when you get a check. So personally on my farm, I have a little bit of corn sold for next year. I have a little bit of wheat sold for next year. I have a little bit of beans sold for next year. Those prices, even if the Chicago Board of Trade comes down, they're going to inflate the market in year average price a little bit because they may be much higher than it is by the time I hope these are the worst sales I made, but if they're not, they may be much higher than the market actually is playing at. Several groups try to estimate this price, and the most useful one I have found comes from Kansas State. Here's a link to the article. It's updated every month where they try to estimate. They will estimate the market and year average price for 2021, and then I also have an estimate on 2022. 2022 is the one that we're actually interested in because 21 we've already made that decision. So this came out January 29th, just last week, the latest estimate on the 2022 market and year average price. You can see the reference price I've got listed across the top there. Corn is $3.70, beans are $8.40, wheat is $5.50. That's the price that PLC starts paying at. So Kansas State, you can see for corn, they've upped their estimate to $4.05. USDA still has their estimate at $3.65. Missouri still has their estimate at $3.39. So 2 of the 3 still have the estimate below the $3.70 level. Soybeans, all of them are above $8.40. Wheat, again, Kansas State has upped their estimate to $5.80. The other 2, $4.90 and $4.72, are still below the $5.50 level. Now, what I'll say about these estimates is these guys don't know everything. If they knew what the price was going to be at the end of the market year 2022, they wouldn't be working for Kansas State or the USDA or the University of Missouri. So this is just an educated guess. We don't know what it's going to be like, but that's the guess for right now. Okay, let's look at ARC County PLC versus ARC PLC and how it works. ARC County is strictly a revenue product. They take the 5-year Olympic average of the market and year average price by the 5-year Olympic average of the county yield. What happens on your farm makes no difference whatsoever. It's all based on county yields and the market and year average price. Then they just give you 86% of that. This will be a little more clear when I show you a spreadsheet that we talk about actual figures. That's compared to the current market and year average price times the county yield, and you only get 85% of that. Can't tell you the reason for 85 or 86% other than they just don't want to give out as much money. Cannot exceed 10% of the revenue guarantee, and that'll be clear when we get to the spreadsheet. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So ARC County gives you a little bit of protection from price, and it gives you a little bit of protection from yield. PLC is strictly price. Easy calculation. If the market and year average price for that crop is less than the reference price, you get that payment on 85% of the base acres. So ARC County is revenue, PLC is price. Decision aids. There's a University of Illinois has a calculator. I used it a little bit last year. I got on there a couple of weeks ago and looked at it again. And to be truthful, I didn't get a whole lot out of it, but all you have to do is type in University of Illinois Farm Bill calculator and it'll pull up. You can look at it for your own farm. I'm not going to show it here because I don't think that it adds a whole lot to what we're going to be talking about. Texas A&M has a more in-depth program. I tried to get on that site, entered my email address from last time, and I could not remember my password, so it wouldn't let me on the site. And there was not a way to change your password, so I can't even tell you for sure what the Texas A&M one does this year. The best one I have found is from Kansas State. It's a spreadsheet program that shows you the trade-off between ARC County and PLC with your own county numbers, so you can see what's actually going to happen in your own county. And here's the link to that program, but I can tell you, all you've got to do is go to Google, type in Kansas State Farm Bill page, and it'll take you right to this thing. A bunch of different options show up. It's a really good website that has a bunch of information on the Farm Bill. Here's what the thing looks like. I'm going to end our presentation right now and jump out and get on this spreadsheet to actually show you what it does. So give me 1 second here. Okay, this is it. When you get on that page, you'll actually download a spreadsheet. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's what this sheet looks like. When you download it from the Kansas State site, it'll be an Excel file. So I'm in Excel right now looking at it, and it'll have a thing up there that says the first thing you'll have to do is click Enable Editing. That'll let you change the numbers. And what you can see here is any of these boxes in yellow are for you to be able to change. So we're in Kansas right now. Let's switch that to Kentucky. And since the soybean office is in Caldwell County, we'll just do Caldwell today. I'll do a couple counties you can look at. So Caldwell, if we want to start, we can start with wheat. And you look down here in the program, you see all these NAs. All that means some counties in the country have irrigated, non-irrigated yields broken out separately. Kentucky is not one of them. There may be a few counties that have a non-irrigated corn yield. You just need to go over here to this type button and select all, and we'll see numbers show up there. So if you have the NA showing up, that's an error message. That just means you got the wrong kind of type picked, and probably all will fix the number for you. Okay, we were talking about ARC County. So Caldwell County has a 5-year Olympic average on wheat of 83.53 bushels. Okay. The 5-year Olympic average market in your average price is $5.50. So the benchmark revenue is $459.42. The maximum ARC County payment you'll see is 10% of that. So the maximum ARC County payment is $45.94. So how do I use this spreadsheet? Look at the 83.53 is the 5-year Olympic average yield. Let's go over here to the average yield. If you have an average yield in Caldwell County for the 2022 crop year, you're not going to get any kind of payment. You're not going to get an ARC County payment. You'll get it till the price, the market in your average price drops to $4.70, $4.67. You would get a $2.82 ARC County payment. At that same time, if the price drops that far, you're going to get a $62.40 PLC payment. So off the top of your head, you'd think, oh, well, I ought to pick PLC. Well, let's just look what happens. If you have a little bit of yield drop, 76 bushels, ARC County protects revenue, so it gives you some yield protection in case you have a yield drop. You don't get an ARC County payment. You get $2.18 if the price drops to $5.17. So you would get a PLC payment of $24.81 compared to an ARC County payment of $2.18. Take it down the next yield level. Now it's starting to look more interesting. You get a $6.14 ARC County payment if the price just drops to $5.72, where you wouldn't get any PLC payment. Take the yield down a little bit more. $2.26 ARC County payment if the price drops to $6.44. So it's not an easy decision to make, but which do you feel could happen more easily? The market in your average price dropping from somewhere up in here all the way down to $5.50, or for us to have a 20 bushel drop in crop yield? That's what you've got to weigh out in order to make this decision. Let's go to soybeans. Soybeans for Caldwell County. They've got a 5-year Olympic average yield of 50 bushels, 50.10 bushels, $8.95 market and year average price, have a revenue guarantee of $448. So that means a maximum ARC County payment of $44.84. Okay. If we have normal yields, have a normal year like we would expect to have, you're not going to get an ARC County payment until that market and year average price drops down to $7.60. You get a $5 ARC County payment compared to a $36 PLC payment. If the yield drops to 41 bushels, that's only 9 bushels off the top, you'd get a $5.55 ARC County payment compared to 0 on the PLC payment. Soybeans are pretty easy because even with all the struggles with China and the things that we've had go on, the market and year average price for soybeans since this program started has never dropped below that $8.40. So there has never been a PLC payment on soybeans at all. Let's look at corn real quick. Corn for Caldwell County, 5-year average, 179.58 bushels. Okay. Same thing. If we have a normal year, 180 bushel corn, the price is going to have to drop to $3.15 before we get a $4.43 ARC County payment. At that same rate, you get an $88 PLC payment. You've got to figure out what is more likely to happen. Are we more likely to look at a 40 bushel yield decrease, or are we more likely to look at the price dropping over $1? That's how you work at these things. I know we've got a couple of farmers on the soybean board from LaRue County. Let's just drop down to LaRue County, see if it makes any difference. Whoops, close. Okay, LaRue County, look at their yield, 185.96. Those creek bottoms must yield pretty well in LaRue County when they can get the crops in. That's the 5-year average, 185.6. So this next crop growing season, if we have an average yield, you're not going to get any kind of payment from ARC County until the price drops to $3.15. Same thing we saw with Caldwell County. But you get a $92 PLC payment at that same rate. So what is more likely to happen? A 30 bushel yield decrease or the market and year average price to drop off more than $1? Let me switch over here to what I think will happen on my farm. And Becky, we probably need to start recording that because I'll have to share the screen again. Okay, so this is the last slide that we're going to talk about. What I think you ought to do. First of all, do not sweat this decision whatsoever, because I think what's going to happen for the 21 crop year is that these prices have gone up high enough that I don't think we're going to see any payments on the 20 crop year. For this next year, you know, we've already grown the crop this year. We know that the yields were good almost all over the state. We don't know what the market and year average price is going to be till this September. but I don't think there's going to be any kind of payments on this year. You already made the decisions for this year last year, but I don't think there's going to be any kind of payments. There still may be a very small wheat payment on PLC. The price could still stay down low enough to give you a very small payment. I think on the next year, if there's any kind of payments, all of them are going to be very, very small. So don't get too upset about this decision. What is important to do is make sure you've got the crop insurance right, because think we're going to set the price for the spring price on crop insurance at the end of February. It's going to be a really healthy price for your revenue crop insurance. So that's where your coverage is really coming in. This will just be a little bit extra on top if something happens. So what I think, I do not expect these high prices to last for the next 18 months, but I have no idea where they go. I don't have enough guts to go out and buy some options and try to take advantage of them going down in the next 18 months. But I just feel like the odds of them going down are a lot more than they're ever going to go up from here. Wheat. 2 of the 3 current 2022 marketing year average price projections are below the 550 level, where PLC pays off. I kept my farm PLC for wheat, but if you're concerned at all about a yield loss, maybe having a 15 to 20 bushel yield loss, you could easily switch your farm to ARC County, and I would not make an argument with that. I almost did it, but I left it on PLC just because I think there may be a chance for a little bitty payoff on PLC. But if you wanted to switch your farms, I would not argue with you. Soybeans. Like I said before, in the life of this program, they have never dropped below the 840 level for PLC to pay a penny. So I would stay ARC County for soybeans. Soybeans are probably not going to pay it all, but if they did, I think there's a better chance getting a slight payment with ARC County. Corn, flip a coin. I could make an argument for either program. If you think there's a greater chance for the price dropping below 370, pick PLC. If you think there's a better chance for a yield drop below the 5-year average, pick ARC County. I actually did flip a coin. I originally had my farm signed up for PLC, and before I signed the paperwork, I switched it to ARC County. Don't know whether that's right or not, but at the end of the day, I don't think we're going to see much payment on anything, but I thought there was a little higher chance of there maybe being a yield drop than there is of the price dropping over $1 a bushel in the next 18 months. So that ends my presentation. Here's all my contact information. You can always reach me at that email address, tmilleruky.edu. I'll be glad to talk about individual situations with you. Be glad to answer any questions that you might have. And thanks for listening.